going to start with opening statements. Mr. Cheeks, you are the lead-off man.
Good evening, Spartanburg County, and I truly appreciate everyone being here tonight. I know we could have been somewhere different, but I truly appreciate your attendance. My name is Robert Cheeks, and I'm one of your candidates for Spartanburg County Sheriff. I was born and raised here, and I've spent the last 15 years of my life dedicated to law enforcement. I truly care deeply about our community, and I'm running because we need leadership. We need leadership that's visible, leadership that's accountable, leadership that's connected to our people. I believe in smart, data-driven policing. I believe in supporting our deputies with competitive pay and the wellness resources that they need. And more than anything, I believe in building the connection that we've lost for so long with our community. For me, it's not about a title. For me, it's about the purpose. I'm ready to lead with integrity, and I'm ready to serve with my heart. So on August 5th, I'm asking for your vote for Sheriff of Spartanburg County. Thank you.
Mr. Clark.
Andy Clark, again, started the Spartanburg Public Safety Department in 2002. I am 45. Want to throw that out there. Spartanburg Public Safety in 2002. Had a critical incident in 2004. Did a traffic stop on an expired tag, so I have that underneath my belt. 2005, moved to the county. 2009, I ended up going from uniform patrol to investigations. I worked white collar and property crimes. Fell in love with white collar. Worked with federal agencies, with the FBI on a Wolfenbarger case, upstate auto auction, and then a mail theft ring in 2013. Was able to receive an award for dedication to the Financial Crimes Task Force. 2015, second shift, February, I worked along with investigator Thomas Hyde, who was the lead on a homicide of Todd Jeremy Johnson. Then 2015, in May, I ended up moving over to records management system. So IT is my background from a little time in college. 2017, I took over records. 2021, I was named Supervisor of the Year. And then, so again, smooth seas, never made a skilled sailor. I was on special teams, SWAT team, K-9 team, and then at the city I was on the honor guard. From that, I have the plethora of experience, relevant experience. I've been through it all, experienced it. Taught officers how to write reports. Was the terminal agency coordinator, which is our HIPAA, which is CJIS information, which is criminal justice information, and personal identifying information, so it didn't get released. From there, why I'm running. I fell victim to nepotism. I saw that the sheriff had plateaued, where we weren't making forward progress. We had separated from the community, and we needed to get back in. It's created some community goals and was able to make one of them and left some unfinished business with some online reporting. So again, August 5th, I ask that you vote for Andy Clark.
Mr. Clevenger.
Good evening, Spartanburg. My name is Rusty Clevenger. I'm your current elected coroner here in Spartanburg. But I see a need to be your sheriff here in Spartanburg. I started my law enforcement career. Next month will be 40 years ago as a uniform patrol deputy. From there, I progressed to investigations. Started off narcotics and vice, where I worked some major cases, took some drugs off the street, some major drugs off the street. From there, I went to a detective role, worked my way up in detectives for property crime. I went through homicide, worked a number of memorable cases, some of which include Tina Casey, who was abducted from her home in front of her son in the Inner community, and also Dana Satterfield, and a number that I could sit here. I wouldn't have time to finalize everything we're talking about. But then I went on to prosecution, where I worked major cases, and an investigator in that role essentially looks at cases and tries to gain more evidence or make them better. I stayed in that role for 11 years, eventually working for Trey Gowdy and the current solicitor Barry Barnett. Of those 11 years, 3 of those were a forensic effort that I was charged to try with local agencies, which included the Highway Patrol and other agencies, to make stronger cases. From there, I ask that you put your trust in me like you did 16 and a half years ago to be your coroner. Since then, I have run a balanced budget. My budget is over $2 million a year. I have been overseeing that and making sure that that is paramount. I run a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week organization. That's why I think I can come into the sheriff's role, bring us out of the problem that we're in presently. I would ask for your vote, Rusty Clevenger for sheriff.
Mr. Duncan.
So my name is Nick Duncan. Some of you may not believe it because I don't have my hat on, but I promise you, my name is Nick Duncan. My wife is super happy that I'm wearing a suit today instead of my typical hey dudes in shorts, but figured that it needed to dress up for everybody here. But my name is Nick Duncan. I am one of the candidates for Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. I wanted to start by saying something you don't hear much in politics. I am not a politician. I am not a well-polished speaker. I've not been doing this speaking publicly for long amounts of time. So, I'm not going to impress you with my fancy words because I don't have that many in my head. I am here to speak from the heart, though. So, I'm just an ordinary man. I'm a husband, a father, somebody who cares about Spartanburg County. I spent years as a paramedic. I spent time at the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, and I've seen the good and the bad and the broken. Well, when I stepped away from the badge in 2023, it wasn't to walk away from public service. It was because I saw what was happening, what I didn't like at the Sheriff's Office. I didn't feel like the office was moving in the same direction that I wanted the office to go. So I felt like the community deserved better. I couldn't sit back and watch and let that happen, so I stood up and I ran in the election last year. So that was a little too much for me to ignore and just to let it go. But this campaign isn't about politics, it's about people. It's about restoring the trust, protecting your rights, and building a department that serves with integrity and accountability and a belief that this office belongs to the people. And I may not have a political polish, but I have something better. I have a conviction and the courage to lead.
Mr. Hallfield.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Randy Hallfield, and I will try to unpack 43 years in 2 minutes, if I can. First off, I came, when I left Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I was in the military. Came home, actually run into some guys at the Beacon Drive-In, so that's how I got started with the Sheriff's Office. They said the Sheriff's Office was hiring, and so I put in. I actually didn't put in. I walked in one morning, and they hired me the same day that I walked in the door. So I spent several years on the road, and I enjoyed that, but I found my niche, which was traffic. I enjoyed getting out and stopping cars. I enjoyed getting out and getting DUIs off the roadways in Spartanburg County. And, for me, law enforcement has been my life. It's everything that I've done for 43 years. And I've got 7 reasons why I want to be the next sheriff, and that's 7 grandkids. I got 7 grandkids just like those that sit in here. You have kids, you have grandkids, and you want to make sure that this county is as safe as it can be. And I want to make sure that they are safe. I want to make sure that you're safe. And I want to make sure that y'all have a sheriff that leads from the front. For 8 years, I was the SWAT commander. A lot of times the guys would tell me, Captain, you can't go through the door first. And I said, well, why? They said, because we need you if something happens. But it wasn't because I didn't want to go through the door. It was because they needed me to be there for them if something happened. So anyway, just like y'all, I want to be there for y'all. If something happens, I want to be able to take care of you, your kids, and your grandkids. Thank you.
Mr. Palato.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Joseph Palato. I'm originally, long story short, I started my law enforcement career just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. I originally was a prison and jail chaplain when God called me to be a law enforcement officer there. And from that career over there, being gone through my first ambush over there, it's a miracle that I'm even here talking to you today. And I say that because I know God orders our steps. So, I've been happily married for over 34 years. I've got 5 kids. And part of my passion is starting with my faith in Christ. It has transitioned me into being the officer I am today, not just with the training and the experience, but the boots on the ground, hands-on experiences that I get to share with people in the community. People know that when I respond to their calls or have responded through the years, it's just not another call of service. It's going there with some dedication to figure out how this appointment is for today and how I'm going to solve these problems. So when God called me here from Sarasota County 14 years ago, I took a 2/3 pay cut to come here with no family and no friends just to bring my training and experience. For some of you who don't understand the numbers, that's over 62,000 hours of experiential learning I brought here with thousands of hours of training to employ here for the citizens of Spartanburg. I want you guys to know that I don't take this calling lightly. If you would ask me a month ago, was I going to do this and take on this position for sure, I would have told you, do I have crazy written across my forehead? That was literally because this is no simple solution and we're in a mess. And I want to take my experiences that I have constantly brought here over the last 14 years here of my 30 years of service to bring it to the next level, because we're in some serious times right now, and unless we get prepared and stay ahead of the trends, we're going to be in trouble. So I want you to just consider that from my experiences, and I thank you for the time.
Mr. Ryan.
Good evening, I'm Bill Ryan. I'm running for sheriff of Spartanburg County. I started my career in 1996 with the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office after I'd gotten out of the United States Marine Corps. I stayed with the Sheriff's Office from 1996 until 2000, May of 2000, I transitioned to the South Carolina Highway Patrol. I spent the next 22 years of my career with the South Carolina Highway Patrol, retiring in January of 22. When I retired, I was a Lieutenant Executive Commander of all community outreach, public relations, public information, and public education for the state. I took a brief hiatus from the Highway Patrol, and then luckily our legislature in the state of South Carolina made a decision that if we had retired and separated for 1 year, we could come back, and I was offered an opportunity to come back to the Highway Patrol as Community Outreach Coordinator for all of the Department of Public Safety, but I still wore a patrol uniform. I stayed there until June the 2nd of this past year when I made the decision to run for sheriff of Spartanburg County and came out and announced on June 3rd. You know, running for sheriff is something I thought about throughout my career. A seed was planted in me 28 years ago. I was having dinner at a restaurant, and a person looked at me after we had a conversation, and they made a comment to me. They said, one of these days you're going to be sheriff of Spartanburg County. Why they said that, I don't know, but they planted that seed in me. Being the sheriff of Spartanburg County is a great responsibility, and I'm often asked, why is it that you want to do that? It's real simple. I was born and raised here. I've spent my entire life here in Spartanburg County. I was born and raised in the northern part of the county. I now live in the southern part of the county down in Pauline. I've raised my children here, and I've raised my grandchildren, or excuse me, my grandchildren will likely be raised here also. The reality is this: Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office plays the most important role in your quality of life on a day-to-day basis. And it is with great, great, great responsibility that you have to take that on. I ask for your support and ask for your vote on August the 5th for Bill Ryan. Thank you.
Mr. Stevens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rick Stevens. I'm from Spartanburg County. I went to James F. Burns High School. I graduated from Spartanburg Methodist College with a degree in science. I went on to the University of New York and received a bachelor's. And then I went post-university in Cincinnati and got my advanced degree in forensic accounting. I'm certified in fraud examination. I'm certified in auditing. I'm a certified medical investigator. And I'm a licensed immigration. Now, I want to tell you this. I did a short time at Spartanburg County under Sheriff Coffey in investigations. Had the opportunity to go overseas working with the State Department. I was trained to fight organized crime and corruption. That's what I've done in the developing countries. I put doctors in jail, I put lawyers in jail. I put judges in jail. I put just about every walk of life in jail. I left there. I stayed 10 years over Europe doing this. And our team that I trained got so good, the State Department disconnected from me and sent me to a corporation that had to be cleaned so the United States didn't have to continue funding it. And I cleaned that corporation, and let me tell you, that corporation was run by the mafia. And I did not live on a compound. I did not live at an embassy, and I did not live at a military base. I lived out in the public. And it was many times I had a lot of close calls, but I did not give up. I'm running for sheriff. I want to clean this, and I'll stick with it. I will not give up. Thank you.